Sorry about that. I think I accidentally pressed a button and it just stopped my recording process. But I was telling you about Kendrick Lamar and how he had Kabbalah symbols on one of his album covers. And maybe if you find it or you Google, you can type it and find. You can type in Kendrick Lamar Kabbalah album cover. You might find it. So I had seen it in real life. Somebody had this album. And I had seen it in real life, and I said, "Look, there's Kabbalah symbols. This is Chesed right here. This is Yesod, you know." So, okay. What I was going to get into next is that Clonaid company. Clonaid, Clonaid. They have their own website. Stem cell breakthroughs. They claim to be pioneers in human cloning. This is crazy. And then there's something that they're talking about in here that I'm going to hold off. Because it's very, very freaky. It's very freaky. So just bear with me right there. The last video was 51 minutes. If y'all want to roll with me, we'll roll some more and we'll get into some shit. So let's get that out the way. I was going to show you next. I was going to talk about the cloning process. You can find this on genome.gov, and their symbol is a DNA symbol. There's a graph. They call it the cloning NHGRI facts sheet, genome.gov, and it shows pigs as an example of how to clone. And I wrote it all down just so I can memorize it and remember it, okay? The diaphragm and everything like that, because it just blew me away on how they cloning these people, how they, I said people, you know, there you go. How they're cloning animals, right? So, real quick, what they do is they have the adult that's going to be cloned, right? They have the adult female that's going to be used as as the one who's going to have the unfertilized egg extracted from it, okay, from the female, okay. Now, like I said, you got to go to the genome.gov website to see what I'm reading off of. Okay? The skin cells from the adult that is to be cloned are taken. According to certain people like George Green, you only need two skin cells. Now, the unfertilized female egg, okay, from it, a nucleus containing DNA from the egg is extracted and brought forth together with the skin cells of the adult being cloned. There's an electric pulse presented, and it causes the skin cells to fuse with the unfertilized egg that was derived from the adult female to be utilized for the egg itself, to be utilized for the clone and the cloning process. After this electric pulse, which now David Bowie says in Black Star, he says that you're a flash in a pan. I'm a black star. I am the great I am. I'm a black star. Right? Now, what they're showing you on the diagram, when they use the electric pulse to fuse the egg and the skin cells together, is a flash in a hexagram, 6-cornered, 6-angled shape. We know what 6 represents: carbon, right? We also, and that's dealing with the basic, the building blocks of all life, the carbon molecule. This is melanin. Carbon is a melanin, I guess I can say pigmented molecular structure, right? But anyway, after the cell fusion, the cells divide. Then an early stage embryo is implanted in surrogate mother. This is different from the adult female where the fertilized egg came from. So we're dealing with two females, right? So you have a surrogate mother over here. Okay. They utilize this surrogate mother and they place the seed, that's my word for it, the seed, or this early stage embryo The exact words is this: the early stage embryo is implanted in surrogate mother. They show you the surrogate mother. Then she has the genetically identical to donor cloned animal. The cloned animal is going to be identical genetically to the adult that was being cloned in the first damn place. Do you understand what I'm saying? This also means that the adult or the clone does not have to look exactly like the adult, the one that was cloned. Say if you clone 2 babies. Say if you clone a baby and you clone this baby, now you got 2 babies. The baby on the left looks different, a little bit different from the baby on the right. Why? Because certain pigments in the skin, certain things in his hair, and which is dealing with melanin. Melanin is the only reason for that. And there we have the different characteristics that could possibly happen to a cloned adult, to a cloned individual, a cloned seed, a cloned baby, a cloned animal, whatever. And that's that diagram. And I told you where you could find it. Okay. George Green in the interview on synthetic humans and human cloning. Okay. George Green video. It's called. He says to watch a movie called The Boys from Brazil, or The Boys from Brazil, because they show you how they clone humans, or they show you and they tell you how they clone humans in the movie, right? And if you remember, all the niggas know. Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair, we can go on and on and on. We know that they put shit in the movies to make you not believe in the shit, right? The shit they put in the movies they doing, or they're going to do, or they have already done for the last 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 damn years, yo. Okay. Number one, so that's what he tells you. So I watched the movie last night. It's 2 hours long, and it's presenting a cloned Adolf Hitler. So it's a crazy movie. You gotta watch it. All right. It's dealing with government cloning basically, and it's just crazy. He tells you that 2 cells, like he's telling you from the diagram I just showed you, he's telling you all you need is a small electrical charge. And like what David Bowie said, you're a flash in a pan. I'm a black star. They utilize a gray star in the sign as the sign of the seed in the surrogate mother on the diaphragm for the Genome.gov cloning fact sheet. The diaphragm has got pigs on it and stuff, right? So it's crazy, yo. It's crazy. This has to they deal with also with the government hypnotizing people to say that it was aliens that were taking their skin cells from them while they were sleeping or at night and all this type of stuff. They also deal with the pituitary hormone. They extract it from the pituitary gland to help grow the clone. Now, this is where I said, well, damn, the pituitary gland, represented by the queen in the chamber of the Giza Plateau Pyramid, the Giza Pyramid. The king, pineal, pituitary queen. So, that's Isis, Aset, the gene of Isis. And we know that the pituitary gland is responsible for how you grow in the physical world. That's why the dwarfs are the size that they were, the Pygmy tribe back in those days. It's just so much going on with that. I'm gonna just leave you alone with that, and you just Google pituitary gland. This is part of the endocrine system as well. Okay, they're extracting a hormone, right, to help grow the clones. Okay, and I'm not saying I believe in everything, all this. I'm just giving you some shit that you can think on, right? And then the movies, watch the movies. And I always remember, I told you, this is David Bowie showing me this now. And you ain't gotta believe that shit. I'm just telling you that the spirit is showing. I'll say that the spirit is showing me. It's just that David Bowie is in spirit world now. Because when the pituitary gland popped up, I thought about, okay, and they say it helps with growing. That means largeness. David, Goliath, Goliath, David. Now we know that Goliath, if he was an historical figure, he would have had to have genetic mutation of the pituitary gland, i.e. the Nephilim, i.e. the giants that roamed among the world in those days. You know what they say in Genesis in the Bible, right? And so we're dealing with pituitary mutations, pituitary gland mutations. And David and Goliath, the battle was very, very weird and ironic. You know what I'm saying? How in the world is such a little man going to knock out a tall ass giant with a slingshot, right? But it happened. And I thought about Bowie and the slingshot. I thought about a bow. Thought about a slingshot. You see what I'm saying? So that there's synchronicity going on, and spirit connects with you in that way. Should be illogical, man. See what I'm saying? So when I wrote that down as a note, I put Goliath the giant. Damn, David, as in David, the King David. David Bowie told me. So, i.e. my mother said David Bowie thought he was black. You know what I mean? Strange. Now, according to him, since 1938, they've been making clones or cloning people. And we have all kind of people who say that Queen Latifah was cloned, and they show you a picture from the 1930s. Jay-Z was cloned, they show you a picture from the 1930s, 1920s. Very strange. Not saying I believe in that shit. I'm just saying you need to investigate the stuff yourself. Now, when I thought about this, I put down, think of the alien ships, think of Israel. Because around the same time that the alien ships were crashing, you know, all this dealing with technology and shit, they created Israel, and you know, the alien ships were popping up. The alien ships did not look futuristic in my eye. They were non-futuristic to me, therefore telling me that they were created by the government in those days. Else they wouldn't look like that. They would have looked like maybe Independence Day ships or something. You know what I mean? It's just kind of strange. So think about that. Now, the bodies of Greys, the bodies of the aliens and the humanoids, etc. Could these have been clones? Right? We know that Credo Mutwa say that the reptilians, they've been here since before shit. Most of us been here. Probably the ones who were probably hunting dinosaurs. We don't, you know. You also know that when you look at your skin in the bright sun, you see different colors of the rainbow. It look like fish scales, right? You also know that if you do not lotion or oil your skin, right? Omega, as in omega 3s, right? As in alpha and omega, as in 3, as in Trinity, you become crispy and shit, and you know, you see what they call ash. This is crazy because ash is dealing with soot, right? Soot represents black, and black people are the only ones that you really see that ash on. Where you see the ash, like baking powder, you know what I mean? Or baking soda. You know, not saying that you can't see ash on Caucasians, I'm just saying, you know, that's fact. Okay. So in the movie Boys from Brazil, the movie cover, it shows the symbol of the male, or really the planet Mars, I guess you could say, because they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and those are the symbols that they use to explain male and female. That's the symbol on the front cover, and there's pieces of the face, a white man's face like that. You got a nose, you got eyes, you have lip, mouth, and all that stuff. And I think that represents aspects of skin cells and shit. So, a Nazi hunter in Paraguay discovers a sinister and bizarre plot to rekindle the Third Reich. And you got to watch the movie. I don't want to give everything away. So back to the interview with George Green. 6 minutes, 20 seconds. It shows a movie piece on that. The Boys from Brazil. And then I write down on some points in this video. The video is called Shocking, Totally Shocking. Number 8 in parentheses. They're creating humans. Alright? Now, they go into everything from cloning to holograms, and such as the Jessica Yellen hologram via from Chicago that the CNN people put up with Wolf Blitzen, right? And Wolf Blitzer says, we know you are Jessica Yellen. You know, he just says that out. He just puts that out there. And then we're dealing with holograms. We know Tupac, Michael Jackson, somebody else. I know that they've been hologrammed. You know, a couple other people, but we know that they've been hologrammed. This video also has the George Green video, but it's literally showing you his face and stuff. And he says that the Greys gave the government the technology. Now, that don't mean the Greys, he might believe that the Greys came from a whole nother star system, Pleiades or whatever. But to me, that don't mean that the Greys came from another star system. The Greys could have been clones with consciousness that rode in these damn ships that the Nazis were building, right? These damn spaceships that were crashing in America because they represented like the first drones. You know what I mean? They just had pilots in them. But the drones were like, the pilots of the spaceships were like drones because they were semi-conscious and shit. They were like robots, robotoids, you know? They had no feelings and things like that, you know? When we talk about the Greys and the aliens and humanoids and the robotoids, because certain people say that when they opened up them ships, they were entities that look like Greys, but they look like humans, right? So check this video out. Shocking, totally shocking. Number 8 in parentheses, they're creating humans. And then in the video at 2 minutes and 47 seconds, it shows the Jessica Yellen hologram. You can just Google Jessica Yellen hologram and you'll be all right. It'll pop up. Okay. And the shit looked like some Star Trek shit too when they was up there doing that. So you think about that. Number 8, and at 8 minutes in this video, he talks about how Hitler had stand-ins, right? And also you have to remember that Michael Jackson was hiring people to not only look like him, but possibly give them money and pay them off to have plastic surgery to help look like him. You know, he wanted to create doubles for distractions because for so many reasons. Number 1, he knew people were trying to kill him. Number 2, he did not want to be noticed in public. Number 3, he wanted to live a regular life and things like that around his family, and he wanted to go out in public and things like that. He wanted to give people the opportunity to still see him perform without it being him performing, because he would be, you know, sick sometimes, you know, certain things he didn't want to do, you know what I mean? He was a human being, right? It's as simple as that. And for the fact that he died at the age of 50, y'all should know some shit, man. It wasn't right. Was that really him in London? Was that really him in London? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't believe that it was completely him, man. I just don't know. I ain't gonna tell you that I know it wasn't him. But the whole shit was set up. You know, the this is it and every damn thing. This is it. It was just set up, man. So, you know, it makes you think, you know. The same Michael Jackson that's out there with his glasses on presenting shit for information for changing the world is the same one that's dangling babies over banisters in hotels while the world watches, you know. Or was he another Michael? You know, we're going to get into that. I might have to do a whole separate video on that. Okay? Now, I also, when I thought about that, I also thought about Oprah Winfrey and how she, you know, looks almost younger than she did in The Color Purple. And so I find that I'm only looking through my eyes. I ain't looking through yours. So I'm only giving you ideas and points to say, hey, maybe we should think about that, you know. Because cloning, human cloning, robotoids and robots and IEs and artificial intelligences. The movie coming out called The Boy. That's gonna be some shit. It's a porcelain doll. Think about the movie Surrogates, synthetic skin and shit. Think about it. That could be just utilized as some type of symbol. You know, it's just so much going on, man. So, Oprah Winfrey. You know, think about it. Think about the word Nazi. The word Nazi is actually coming from the word Nazi, and Nazi represents the actually to be born, represents a nation and everything like that. And it seems to me that it's the Nazis who are in all the movies, right? And in documented articles from the late 60s on early to the 40s, 30s, whatever, that were talking about all this science, you know? So we need to understand what's going on with that, you know? So cloning naturally is really because they want to fight you on cloning, because like I say, Obama, he did the stem cell research. He said we can do it. Now, the only natural cloning that there is to exist in organic naturalism is called asexual reproduction, and this mostly happens in plants and shit. Now, it also happens in bacteria, but it does not, and it happens in twins, right? In twins, identical fraternal. But it ain't, other than that, that's not dealing with, like, the twins are genetically different from their parents. As I told you earlier, the genetically cloned animal is the same identical has the same identical genetics as the adult that have been cloned, therefore stating that that adult that have been cloned is the genetically modified or genetically cloned animal, right? And so there's three types of cloning. We have genetic cloning, reproductive cloning, and therapeutic cloning. And that's where the science and everything goes in on why they want to do the cloning and why they want to do stem cell research. So the key for me is the consciousness aspect of this. The consciousness of the human. So this is shown in the movies on how they do that. Transcendence, Lucy, Surrogates. Three of the main ones. So what y'all need to do is study that, pertaining to how consciousness could even begin to be placed into a cloned body and things of that nature, right? Where in the hell the consciousness gonna come from? Okay. I want to play this little video real quick for you before we go. And this video, let's see. You know what? I think I clicked the video closed, so we're not gonna get into that. Basically, he was talking about the genetics and how they genetically modify food and everything else, and why we should actually look into doing it, because it helps save lives and shit. So, you know, I got so much going on, man, because it ended up going from, you know, David Bowie to cloning to consciousness to nanotechnology and to this organization called Clonade, who claims to have produced the first human clone, a baby girl by the name of Eve. Right? Clonade. And then it goes into nanotechnology, and that's dealing with the transcendence, right? And Johnny Depp, okay? Who is a niner. He's an elite Hollywood actor. He plays out what the elite Illuminati want to be played out in movies and shit for, to delve into your subconscious. He's utilized as one of them people. Nanocuticles, man. That's a new thing they put in there. Because what's going to end up happening is this. The clones are going to be created. The clones are going to have to survive. What are they going to live off of? They're going to be living off of nanotechnology, nano foods and shit, nanocuticles. You know what I mean? They're going to be putting chips in the food. They're going to be putting chips on the tongues of you and clones to make you think that broccoli tastes like chicken. I'm not saying that they cannot do that now. Watch the movie The Matrix. You know, it's all ties into all this stuff, man. You right? And the one represents the Christ consciousness awakening. The black woman that he go to is Sophia. She represents divine wisdom. And she also represents the woman who created the shit named Sophia Stewart. Also created the Terminator trilogy, and she recently won lawsuit on that shit. Google Sophia Stewart, The Matrix, Terminator. Google it. She's a black woman. She did it all. Google Dr. Ricky Yada, Yada, when we're dealing with the nano foods, nanotechnology and shit. This is freaky shit, man, we're dealing with. This shit is real. You know? Google nanotechnology for food, agriculture, and biosystems industry. It's a PowerPoint by Suresh Neetharajan. He's an EIT member. I don't know what that means. I'm giving you a lot of information, you know. So there's a video called "More Dangerous Than GMOs," bioengineered nano foods, but shh, it's a secret. This is a video. They talk about how just this is David Bowie looking out for me, because at 3 minutes and 49 seconds they talk about how skin cells can be, you know, microscopically seen at the level of a really they just utilizing this word rice from everything for genetics to skin cells to extracting the nucleus out of the unfertilized egg of the adult that's going to be utilized for the helping of a clone, and how that the nano aspects are going to be so small, they're going to be smaller than the smallest grain of rice and rice seed. They say the next biggest thing is going to be the smallest thing, you know. This is going on all out in the world. Things that they don't want you to know about, and they want you to be stuck on your low chakra, right? But I am one of those who clearly I am not stuck on it, right? And I'm just going to get it in, man. It's just going to be so much shit going on, you know. So I just want to thank David Bowie for this. I'm going to continue studying this because it is out of worldly stuff, cloning and shit. I'm going to study these videos, study these movies. I'm studying the movies that he was in, and this is how they connect. Dude, this is how they talk to you, right? So it's 2:12. It's been 27 minutes plus an hour, and I gotta go. I gotta handle some business. I say to y'all, the key is the consciousness, and Hotep.